Are you thinking about moving to Texas? Well, be careful because you about to gain some weight. What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, a place where nurses and aspiring nurses come to achieve academic, career, and life success. Before you finish watching this video, please give this video a thumbs up, a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video, okay? So guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I gained weight moving from New York City to Texas. So I moved from New York City to Texas on November of 2020. I gained a total of 20 pounds, okay? I always worked out though, guys. So it really shows you that from my weight gain, I've learned that fitness is really 90% of what you put into your mouth, more so of how much you work out. Because something you guys don't know about me is that I've been working out, going to the gym. My first gym was in Lucille Roberts, and I was also in track in high school since I was 15, 16, okay? And I am a person where I'm naturally thick before thick was in, before thick was cool. So since I was younger, I was always on, I could say I was always on the heavier side, okay? I always loved to eat, okay? So that's also part of my culture too, because I come from a Caribbean background. So we're praised for eating, and honestly, I think it's overeating, but that's another story for another day. So I was always praised because people say, oh my gosh, you have a nice body and stuff like that. But I was indeed, in fact, overweight. But, you know, I was always born with a body. Like, I never had a skinny phase. Like, for example, my sister, she had a skinny phase when she was like 11, 12, 8, but I never ever had a skinny phase. My body always showed what I ate, you know? So like, you know how some people are like, oh, well, you know, when you get older, your metabolism changes, and oh, when I was younger, I used to eat 10 pizza boxes and I would gain a pound. Like, I'm like, wow, that must have been really nice. But you know what, at the same time, it works to my advantage, because as I do get older, I know exactly what to do to lose the weight. And on the same breath, I know my body way more. I know what workouts my body responds to. Although I'm learning a lot about weight training, more about that later. I know what workouts my body responds to. I'm still learning what diet my body responds to. So we're gonna go over how I gained weight, okay? So the number one reason why I believe I gained weight moving from New York City to Texas is driving, okay? I feel like I miscalculated how much energy I was expending versus how much energy I was putting in. So I'm about to move down to the city, but I live in the suburbs of Houston, all the way up north. It's a very nice area, and I'll let y'all know when I move out. So I'll let y'all know where I was, but it's a very nice area in the suburbs of Houston, and it's very nice. It reminds me of Gilmore Girls. That's the only way I could describe to you how this area feels like. Before Rory went to college, I stopped when Rory went to college. I was like, no, they didn't put my man in it, her high school fling. I was like, oh no, the guy from Supernatural. I was like, he's not in it, I'm not watching. So I stopped when we went to college. But anyways, that's what up north, up here, reminds me of, just Gilmore Girls. Like, everybody knows everybody, which is kind of it has its pros and cons. But nevertheless, like, I drive everywhere. I drive everywhere. And in New York City, I didn't drive. I had my license, but I didn't have a car, and I didn't want to spend my money to buy a car because I didn't see the point of buying a car. And I wanted to put all my money towards my education because I didn't see the point. Like, why am I going to buy a new car? Why am I going to put myself in car debt or have a whatever if I'm not driving? So I walked everywhere in New York. Even from my house to go all the way to the gym, I walked. Then in the gym, I worked out. I walked everywhere. I took the bus, I took the train. So I went up the stairs, down the stairs. Now, guys, I can't see myself taking the bus and the train. I'm sorry. They done changed me here now. I'm bougie. But now I don't see myself doing that anymore. But But yeah, lifestyle forced me to expend more energy. So and then I always had it in me to work out because I always like to have a nice body, guys, okay? And I'm a nurse, so I always wanted to be healthy as well. So that is the reason why I believe I stayed slim. Because yeah, another reason why I believe that I gained weight here is just, again, miscalculating how much calories I spent. So if you guys didn't watch the vlogs on my channel, check it out. But there was a point where I was working in the vaccination areas in Houston, and it was under the hot Texan sun in July, and I was sweating a lot. Like, when I tell you I was sweating, like, I would go to my job, and by the end of the shift, at the end of the day, because we would work like, I think 12-13 hours, something like that. It was a crazy amount of hours. No, 10 to 7. My whole clothes would be drenched in sweat and everything like that, and I would just really be drenched in sweat. So I was thinking like, oh wow, I'm probably burning a lot of calories, because even though I'm not like running or whatever, I'm walking to the cars, I'm vaccinating. I don't know if I'm able to say these things, but I'm giving people the jab and stuff like that. So I'm like, wow, like I'm probably burning a lot of calories. So the first month of my job, they were giving us like meals, and I don't mean just little meals. I mean Chick-fil-A, Chinese food. Like, guys, they were like really feeding us. When I say Chick-fil-A, I mean like, you know, the boxes where they had the chicken sandwich, they had the chicken nuggets, they got the fries. I mean, guys, like, if y'all watch my video, you guys will know more detail of how that job went. But they gave us a bunch of food, and I would just eat it. And then when I got home, now that I think about it, when I got home, I would, you know, because I was working like 6 days a week, guys. So I feel like that also affected me mentally, because I was kind of sad about that. Like, I mean, who wants to work 6 days a week? You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. And for 10 to 7, like, you kind of have no life. So I kind of felt sad a little bit. And because there was like drama going on that job, I wasn't in the drama, but it was really a stressful environment to work in. And it was summertime on top of that, so you know people are about to pop off. So I feel like I was stressed out. So when I would on top of eating that, when I would come back from work, sometimes they would give us extra food to go home with, but sometimes I would stop by Chick-fil-A, buy my little sandwich and fries and my soda, and sit down in front of Netflix and watch TV. Okay, so I wouldn't really work out. If I worked out, I don't even remember if I worked out. I think I still worked out. Yeah, I think I still worked out. I still got at least 3 to 4 workouts in a week, but it still wasn't able to combat what I was eating. I was still gaining the weight, but again, I didn't realize I was gaining the weight, because since I moved here, for some reason, I decided no longer to weigh myself. I said, you know what, I'm going to go by the scale, because sometimes when you're working out, you could put on muscle, and then you could look at the scale and they could be higher than what you really are, because it's really muscle and not fat, which is true. But you know what? Sometimes our eyes deceive us. I think sometimes because we see our bodies every single day, as we're gaining weight, we may not be able to realize it. At least for me, I wasn't able to realize that I was gaining a ton of weight. So I was just putting on the weight, and you know, even though I looked at my body, sometimes I would see my stomach like expand like a lot. I was thinking, that's nothing, because I used to be vegan, guys. I used to be vegan when I was like 19 to what? 22, 23, something like that. I used to be vegetarian, then I went vegan, and when I would eat a lot, my stomach would expand, but then the very next day it would be like flat as a book. So, but I wasn't even vegan that time. But I don't know, for some reason I was thinking, oh, my stomach's probably big because I just ate. The next morning is gonna be flat. But girl, you are not vegan. I'm eating at that time I was high carb vegan, so I was eating a lot of carbohydrates, but like no meat and stuff like that. But I was eating a lot of meat, a lot of carbohydrates. And you know, guys, when your body is breaking down protein and carbs like together, and especially if you're eating late like I did, and you're just going back to sleep, like your body is having a hard time digesting it. And then that turns into fat, of course, because you're not expending the calories as much. So that's another thing that made me gain weight, is just because I was just eating to, I think, and I didn't notice it until I started seeing a trainer, which is I didn't notice I was emotionally eating. And my trainer was like, you know, the reason why you don't notice it is because you're not obese. And you know what? Emotionally eating, like using food to soothe you, is not okay. Even if you're as skinny as a twig, like, it's not okay. Because even if you're very skinny, I used to have a LPN teacher. She was very skinny, but she had high cholesterol. And you know, high cholesterol can lead to heart disease, can lead to heart attack, can lead to stroke, can lead to diabetes. Diabetes can cause a host of issues in your body. So like, it could cause neuropathy, problems with your nerves, your vision, everything. So like, on the real, like, even some eye disorders are caused by like being overweight. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's caused by it. And I know some people are on medications like corticosteroids and stuff like that, so that's you know, that's okay. But if somebody is like, if you're a relatively healthy individual and you have the means, like if you know you can lose the weight, I would implore you to lose the weight. Because you know, when I look back at my studies, like, it's really not a game. Like, it's more than just, of course, for me, like, I'm in a stage in my life where like, oh, I want to look good and stuff like that. But when you really do the research and you really see the repercussions of, or the possible repercussions of not eating well, you would want to take care of yourself, because it's really not a joke. But anyways, guys, so that is another way I gained weight, is just like, not, I feel like if I would have only weighed myself, maybe I was afraid to see the number on the scale too. If I would have only weighed myself, like, guys, like, even if you don't want to see the weight, even if you knew, if I was to only weigh myself, I think I would have catched it right before I put on 20 pounds. Because you know, guys, losing weight is not easy. It's not easy, I'm not gonna lie. It's not an easy thing. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. It's trial and error. It's because, you know, everybody's body is different. You gotta try this for a while, and then you're doing it for a while and it doesn't work, then you try that, then you try this, then you try this diet, then you watch this video, and it's like a lot. But then once you find that thing that works for you, it's like all smooth sailing. Now I know my body way more. Okay, guys, so that's how I gained the weight, because I didn't have the scale and I was emotionally eating. And yeah, that's basically how I gained the weight. And also I was enjoying life, guys, to be honest with you. I wasn't always sad. I was enjoying life, and when I enjoyed life, I ate too, you know. See, that's part of emotionally eating. When I was enjoying life, I went out with my friends. I went out and I ate, you know. We went out to restaurants, going to nice restaurant. I love the chocolate fountain cake. What's it called? Not fondue. Chocolate molten cake. I don't really like sweets, guys, but I love chocolate molten cake. I hope I'm doing it right. It's like, I don't like a lot of sweets. I don't like caramel. I know it's like, I don't like caramel. I don't like anything like with almonds. I don't like any of that, but I love, like, you know, brownies, guys. I love brownies with the frosting on it. Woo! I like, see, look at me. I'm getting excited. That's an emotional attachment to food, right? I like Hershey Sundae pie from Burger King. I like the chocolate molten cake. But you know what I really like that comes with calories? Like the carbohydrates, because, you know, growing up, that's what I grew up eating. Also, my own cooking was making me big, like, guys. So for me, when I came here, I didn't really know how to cook, okay? But I grew up eating Haitian food, right? So guys, I just taught myself how to cook on YouTube and stuff like that, and I'm to my own horn too. I can really cook. I could cook so much so that I would wake up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m. to eat some of my rice. That's how good my food is. All right, guys, I'm not bragging, but my food is so good. Like, that's one thing. I don't like to clean afterwards, so that's why I don't cook that much, to be honest. I'm a princess, I know, but my own cooking was making me like big. I was making vegan mac and cheese, but still, if you look at the saturated fats in those cheeses, it's a lot. I was making all kinds of things. You sauce, you know, y'all know, sauce, all those things, guys. And nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm not saying I will never eat it again, because I'm Haitian and I feel like I know I don't want to have an emotional relationship with food, but I feel like I would like to enjoy what the kind of food that I grew up with, and just enjoy me making food. But I stopped cooking for a long time because I kind of got depressed. I was like, oh my god, my own food is making me big. It's like making me gain weight. But yeah, that's mainly the reason why I was gaining weight. Is number one, I didn't have a scale. I wasn't watching my weight. I was just relying on looking at myself in the mirror, which is totally bad because you see yourself every day. You're not gonna realize when the weight comes. It's gonna sneak up on you. Number two, mistakenly thinking that I can outwork a bad diet. That's impossible. Yeah. And then number three, just like emotionally eating. So in the next video, guys, I'm going to talk about how I lost the weight. All right, guys, so stay tuned.